down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Hey, you tuned in. It's been a minute, but I'm back at it. Friday, Fabulous Friday, talking about a deal. I haven't done one of these in a long time. If you missed the last episode of 500, yep, I teared up a little bit. I was emotional. Can't believe I made it to 500. I even sent that podcast to my wife, and she said she started crying. I was like, if you miss episode 500, you missing out on the real deal. I don't know. I just started flowing, and I was just appreciated where I came from humble beginnings to where I'm at today. And I can't believe that we hit 500 episodes. And now we're on 501, and it's Friday, and it's I used to call it Fabulous Friday Deal or Best Deal Friday. That's it. If you've been following the podcast for 3 years, you know what I'm talking about. If you just new to the game, well, I used to do the Best Deal Friday back in the day, and I don't know if I'm ever going to do it again, but I've been working on this one for a minute. And so I'm going to break it down to you. First of all, you're going to hear some hypocrite stuff in here because I say I never flip a deal. And this is what happened. So here we go. First of all, you got to keep on, and you got to keep the relationships going. You know, people ask me, why should I go to the RIA? And, you know, it's a good question because you got to keep building relationships. I'm telling you, you build a relationship. That's how you get money, private money. That's how you build relationships with bankers, because at this last RIA was that some bankers showed up. But another thing that's really cool is that you get involved with some wholesalers. And if you really get intimate with the wholesaler, one day it will rain like a rainbow and homeboy will hook you up, or homegirl will give you the slide deal. And I never thought it would ever happen. And it came my way. And so let me break this deal off to you. First of all, this deal is in Oklahoma. It's in Edmond, Oklahoma, which if you don't follow the world, it's that Edmond, Oklahoma is the top 12th city in America in the world, just so you know. And it is hot, and there is no houses under 150,000. And anyway, long story short, homeboy calls me up. Hey, I got this house in Edmond. It's 90. And I was like, ooh, you know, those numbers usually don't work. You know, you rent them out for 1,100, you rent them out for 1,200, and they don't work. And so I was like kind of skittish at why. So, I was kind of sleeping at the wheel on this one. And this wholesaler, and again, you got to build relationships with people. He's like, man, you might want to take another look at it. Well, I went and looked at it. I was like, oh, okay, sign it up. It was off the chain. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a corner lot, off the chain neighborhood, brick, legit. And so I'm talking to the dude. Of course, you got to be a negotiator. I'm like, how'd you get this deal? He's like, well, actually, another flipper got this deal under contract for 70. Oh, he told me 70. I said, oh, he's trying to make 20 on me, and I'm not mad that people make 20, but I was like, ooh, he already told me the spread. We're going to hit him up with something. But I knew, and I was with my homeboy at the time, and we were walking through this house, and we looked at each other with big eyes. Oh, this is a deal. You need to jump. I'm like, are you flexible on the price? I looked at the roof. It looks like it needs a new roof. And he's like, listen, my phone has blown up that I know that we're homeboys and I'm going to give you this opportunity. And I was like, okay. So I did the obligation close on him. I was like, well, could you take 2 G's off? And he just looked at me and said no. And I was like, man, it's only been a couple of times somebody was not even willing to negotiate. Of course, I don't buy houses in Edmond like this. And I really didn't know. I figured that I looked at the ARV. The ARV in my world would be about 124,000. And I later hindsight figured out that it's the neighborhood has appreciated faster than the county assessor has alluded to. So, but I still base kind of my numbers on my own research and my own comps, so on and so forth. So I got the deal on my obligation close. It was sunny outside and I was feeling kind of hot. And I was like, man, I've been burned by wholesalers before. And I knew this dude and I trusted this guy. He's my homeboy. But, people get greedy. And I'm telling you, I got some people in my life right now that just bent me over 10 G's over greed. I mean, it's serious. Just 2 days ago, somebody got me on some money. And, I feel sorry for that dude that you're going to lose your integrity over 10. But I realize over time, people get crazy over $500. And so we're talking about 10 G's in value. The house is definitely worth at least 100. He was doing me a solid at 90. He was happy because he was making 10. And he was given to the original flipper 10, and that flipper couldn't do the job. And I was like, man, I need to beat these people. How did they get these houses for $70,000? And so, I had my sunglasses on, and my homeboy made a comment about my sunglasses. And I said, here you go. You can have them. And that's a little tip for you right there. That's called the obligation clause. Now the dude's got my sunglasses, and he's driving around in his little car thinking about me. And I was like, so anyway, I locked it up. I get to the closing, and there's drama at the closing. Dude shows up, the seller, but on the county assessor, it doesn't show that he has a wife, and the wholesaler didn't take care of that. My wholesaler was a little busy on his day job and didn't show up to closing. And I was like, homeboy, yo, you about to lose 20 G's. You need to drive up here and make this happen, because they won't close because the wife, aka the spouse, has to sign off. Well, come to find out, the spouse was distressed because their baby was in the hospital, and I'm assuming that's kind of why they sold the property. So you never know where deals are going to come from a wholesaler, and you never know where the seller is going to be severely motivated. Because in reality, we got a $125,000, $135,000 house. In my mind, someone's selling it for $70,000. It needs about $20,000 worth of repair, kind of. And so anyway, about an hour later, the wife shows up like the White Knight, signs the docs. Bam, the deal's funded. Boom. Well, how did I get the deal closed? It was a no money down deal. Thank you very much. It appraised for $134,000. So, man, it was a slam dunk. My bank loaned me $105,000. I got 9 G's at closing. Oh, I got $105,000 in the deal. I'm skippy on this. So I'm grinding out. Oh, I'm gonna show all my homeboys. I'm gonna be a flipper, hypocrite VanCauwenbergh right here. Because if you heard an episode about a month ago, I was like, well, I never intended to flip it. Oh yeah, let's just rewind. I got a little ahead of myself. Got a little excited there. So I started remodeling in it, and I was working with my homeboy. I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna do the granite. I'm gonna go big on this. I look at my general manager, property manager. I was like, yo, we gonna do this right. This is Edmond. We gonna roll with all the people in Edmond. We gonna do this right. We gonna put the floor down. We gonna make it pop, and we gonna put the gray walls. Well, within a week after the rehab, I showed up on a job site, and there's 1960 tile in the entryway. And I'm like, woo, woo. I said, hey, homeboy contractor. I was like, yo, what's up with this floor? Well, the general manager said leave it to cut a corner. I was like, oh no, thank God. So I got stung on that, because when I got this dude's bid for 15 G's, that floor wasn't in it, and the back shower wasn't in it. Again, so it cost me another G to fix the back shower. The back shower had a bulge in it, so we had to rip out that shower and retile that. We had to replumb some stuff, and then I had to do the entryway. And then homeboy had the old 1960 entryway light. So I've learned this from some good friends of mine, that the entry, when you walk up on the property, these things need to be hit on mark, on point. So and then when I got my granite bill for 15 G's, 1,500, I almost fell over. I was like, whoa, this should be a G. Come to find out, everybody else in the world's paying $25 a square, but VanCauwenbergh over here, Mr. Savvy, paying $35 a square, got stung. And what's so crazy? This was the easiest granite job in the world. There was no corners. They were just straight flat. There was no supersized. And my granite guy just remodeled an apartment for me. I just gave that dude 10 units of granite, and he got me on the easy job. I was like, no, he did it. And I called I'm paying $28 a square, homie. How much you paying? And then I'm paying $35. I got stung like nobody. But hey, I was a no money down deal. I had to put another 10 G's into this manufacturing. I get the deal done in about 45, 60 days. I knocked this house out. Man, everybody, I show all my homeboys my pictures. Oh, you know, you savvy. You know how to do it. I'm like, yeah, I only got 115, 110 in this deal. I'm doing great. This is the deal of the century. I'm doing OG great. And then I'm like, I'm going to rent this out. You know, I'm going to make $300 a month. Little money in, $300 a month. I put it up for rent. Crickets. Ain't nobody's inquiring. My property manager, something's wrong. I ran over there, did a video, ran over there, had my homeboy come look at it. He dropped his jaw. This is legit. You did this? I was like, yeah, I did. It's okay. I got some skill left. And nobody rented it. I'm in a panic. I got $1,000 a month payment rolling up real fast. I'm telling you right now, Edmond Water got me for $200 for some nasty water bill. How does that happen? Your insurance is about $100 a month. My taxes are $100 a month. Man, holding costs are eating me up, and it's not moving. So I'm like, all right, I'm stressed out. I got this big goal to give away some money to the church. I'm just going to dump this deal. I got a little greedy real fast. All of a sudden, I became a flipper. Everything I'm against, I started doing. So I call my handy dandy super duper realtor. Yo, what could I sell this for? He's like $145 all day. I'm like, ooh, I don't think so. I got an appraisal in my back pocket that says 134. I don't know how you're going to get 145, but you know, this is my superstar realtor. I believe in homeboy, and we listed for 145. In 2 days, we had 10 showings. I had a contract for 146. What? Something's wrong. Here's the greed comes in real fast and furious. This is why you need to have friends, because you need to talk about these deals amongst each other, not to boat or blout or clout or whatever, or to boast, because I was blinded by the 30 G's. So I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm going to give this away. I'm doing it. And I'm like, we kind of negotiated. I made them, give them $1,000 non-refundable earnest, because it was just scared me that they bought it so fast, and it scared me that they gave $1,000 over the price. And of course, I don't know, I don't mess around retail. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm jumping on it. So the realtor, he assures me everything's going great. So they're going through inspections. Come to find out, it needs a water heater. Oh, dang. I was like, man, I'm not a big fan of doing repairs before closing. Actually, if I'm working with you, if I'm coaching you, no, you don't do them, because people tend to walk away, and then you have all this upfront cost. So make sure you got some contingencies in there. So it boils down to this inspection. They order this inspection. Realtor calls me back. He's like, hey, man, it needs a roof. Ooh, that's my stomach going. It needs a roof. And now I'm broken. There's my 30 G's. This went down. And, retail on the roof is about 15 on this house. OG VanCauwenbergh, I can get this done for about 10. My 30 G profit just went down to 20. And I was like, wait a minute. The contractor got paid. Home Depot got paid. The insurance got paid. Edmond Water bent me over. Then the realtor's going to make their 6 G's, or actually 9 G's. Wait a minute. What am I doing here? I'm kind of broke up about this deal. Normal people will just lay down and give them a roof because they insecure, because they got this thing called scarce mentality that, I'm going to lose this deal, because I was like, no. And I was actually, to be honest with you, I was broken because I had this goal in place, but I actually reached my goal on November 30th. So I really didn't need the money. And then I realized, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to buy assets. But see, will this deal ever happen again? I got a cherry house, and I know I got $40,000 worth of equity sitting in this bad boy. Think about it now. Tables are turned. I got about 110, 115 in it, somewhere around there. It sold for 145. I need to be thinking about this. Well, hold on. So like what you should do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, you should call your mentor. Call my mentor up, and he just got me. He said, VanCauwenbergh, think about it. You sold that house with the used roof. It didn't come with the new roof. Don't give them a new roof. Wow. Like, sometimes you just need to have a friend in your world just to give you that oomph, that push to say no, or to think clearly. Now, of course, it took me about 24 hours to think about it because I was really kind of milling this around. You know, it's not renting. I'm taking a risk. I got this. I think it's about 2 months in this deal. I've already dropped some holding costs. It's not renting. And then I'm realizing maybe it's my property management. They just don't know what they're doing. Everybody's telling me it should go for 13. You should be making a killing, VanCauwenbergh. And it makes sense. It's 145. I'm trying to rent it for 13. So, and my realtor is my homeboy. This is a friend of mine. And I mean, he needs to get paid. It's Christmas. It's December. How am I going to handle this? So I sent him a text. I said, listen, this is what I'm willing to do. I sold the house with the used roof. If the person that wants to buy the property wants a new roof, I'll split it with them 7 G's. I figured the roof will be about 14. If I can get the roof done for 9 or 10, I'm only out 3. I'll sell it for that. And then, now the buyer's agent's getting kind of juicy. I mean, I can't imagine what conversations are happening. They've already got an appraisal rolling. They already did an inspection. I feel sorry for them. And then they send me this text message. She's pregnant and she's from the military. Now, do I need to give you a free house or give you a free roof that my family and my life doesn't succeed because you pregnant, because you decided to have a child? Now, I know that sounds insensitive out there to the ladies, and I'm not trying to be a pig, but I mean, this game will get you emotional. This game, I really wanted to sell the house to these folks, and I'm telling you, my poor realtor, he's trying to be cordial, trying to be supportive, but my realtor came and said, Steven, what do you really want on this deal? I'm like, honestly, homeboy, I'm about trying to buy assets. I'm not doing jobs, and I just become a hypocrite on the radio. I blasted people that are flippers, because when you are a flipper, you make the 30 grand, you pay more in taxes, everybody gets paid, and you take all the risk. I'm the one that got the deal. I had to build that relationship with the wholesaler. I had to build a relationship with the banker. I had to get my I had to make 20 year sacrifice to get to where I am today. And I'm just going to lay down and give away 10 G's or more just because someone, and I feel bad. And I realized, man, I had to ask myself, what in the world am I trying to do? And sometimes you got to tell yourself, you got to tell people no, and it hurts. And if you want to be a super investor, and I hope that you do, and I hope that you listen to this episode and you really want to be, and it's not easy. It just sounds easy. You watch these courses and you see these radio shows, and you got to make, I got people's lives in my hands. I got all the contractors, all the insurance agent. I got all these people in my world, and I got to make a decision. And I feel bad. And if you remember correctly, I made their earnest money go hard, meaning they walked away from the deal because they felt like that they didn't have the money. I don't know why. Now, I did release the earnest money to them because I felt bad. I gave them the $1,000 back. But here's a couple of things that I learned after the contract busted, and I read the inspection. Here's an interesting thing about this inspection. When my realtor called me, you need a water heater, a G, you need a new roof, 10 G's, 14 G's, and about $600 worth of maintenance. That's what he told me. But when I went line by line, now I'm not trying to blast my realtor, because my realtor, he's OG, and I know he listens to the episode. But when I went through the inspection report, it tiled up $17,000 worth of repairs. And that's something I want to teach you out there, ladies and gentlemen, that these inspections are trying to intimidate and try to scare the seller to reduce the price. The great thing is I got to give love to my realtor. He softened the blow and said, these are all maintenance things like the loose outlet. But the inspector said the loose outlet's $200, or the water heater is $1,500, and it needs a new roof, and that's 14 G's, and so on and so forth. But after I said I feel good, and here's the cool thing: I put it up, I lowered the price to $1,175, and I already have somebody moved into it. Someone rented it in 2 days, bona fide, legit, did the background check, credit check, and they were happy, and they slid on in, and now I have an asset that's cash flowing about $200 a month. So you hear this roller coaster ride of real estate investors. As an investor, to recap, I came in, simple remodel to rent it out, but got derailed by I overpriced it because I didn't know the market and I entrusted everybody else. Then I got tangled up in a web of not knowing that the roof needed to be replaced. Now the roof, it doesn't leak, so why do you replace it? That's just an adage for the real investors out there. You don't replace it until it leaks or until it has to, because you're depreciating it down anyway, and there's no reason to do a capital improvement when that money you're paying tax on. That's another episode. So what's the message here? The message is sometimes you got to say no. Sometimes you got to call your mentor and really think about it and take 24 hours. And now the next time I try to sell a house, I'm going to probably jump on the roof. Not me, because I'm scared of heights, but I'm going to get somebody out there on the roof, and we're going to figure it out and have that in motion. Anyway, this is your boy, Steve VanCauwenbergh. You tuned in to the SavvyRadioShow.com. We're going to bring it live. We're going to bring it hot. If you got a question or you even want to be on the radio show, you got a message you want to get out, let me know, because I'd love to have you on the show.
Investor Weekend is not far off, with over 10 information sessions to increase your portfolio. Log on to www.investorweekend.com. Whether you are a seasoned investor or never purchased a property before, you don't want to miss the Investor Weekend. Join us for a powerful, knowledge-packed weekend with over 10 informational sessions that are bound to enlarge your real estate investments. You will hear from the best national and local real estate investors that will share practical and relevant experiences with you, the investor. There will be several networking sessions to connect with other like-minded people for potential funding, partnerships, and yes, hot deals. Go to www.investorweekend.com. Did you know we meet once a month for the Landlord Lunch Meeting? The third Wednesday of every month. Go to landlordlunch.com.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.